The Kamloops Cement Plant was originally built for the construction of the Mica Dam along the Columbia River in 1970. After the completion of the dam, the plant was scheduled to be shut down, but finding themselves with the plant already in place, Lafarge began producing and supplying cement throughout interior British Columbia and Alberta. Lafarge Kamloops is situated 20 kilometers east of downtown Kamloops and on 63.25 hectares of land, which contains its own limestone quarry. The quarry is one of the largest freehold limestone leases in North America, with over 1 million square meters of reserves identified. You can begin to understand how much limestone is here when you look at the relatively small footprint in the hillside from over 40 years of mining. The Kamloops Cement Plant will crush anywhere from 1,500 to 1,700 tons of limestone in a single day, while overcoming the variability in the limestone present in the quarry. The numerous colors across the hillside show the variability. The limestone changes from high silica content of about 40% to as low as 1%. To compensate for this, the limestone is thoroughly blended and combined with a number of other raw materials. The conveying system travels over 1,500 meters, stretching from the crusher down the hillside to the limestone stockpiles, where it will later be reclaimed. Each stockpile contains about 7,000 tons of limestone. The quarry is used as a source of calcium and silica, two of the basic elements of cement production. Loess clay, which is found throughout the quarry, is introduced into the pre-homogenization limestone pile to increase the alkali content. A number of raw materials found outside the plant are used as a source of alumina, such as red shale, boiler ash, food cracking catalyst, and spent alumina. The main source of iron for the raw materials is a byproduct of the steel industry. All raw materials are sampled a minimum of once a month to ensure a consistent production. A lot of planning and organization goes into the raw material harvesting, movement, and storage at the Kamloops Cement Plant. At night, the conveyor that is used to move crushed limestone from the quarry down to the stockpiles then reverses direction to move reclaimed clinker into silos, where it will enter the raw mill. The kiln feed chemical composition has a large effect on the clinker and the performance of the kiln. Variability in the raw material can make it very difficult to produce a consistent product. In an attempt to alleviate some of the variability in the raw materials, methods of pre-blending and selective mining are used. The chemistry of materials entering the raw mill are tested every 3 hours, and changes to the raw feed are instantly made with an automated system in the control room that is monitored 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. When the desired chemistry has been achieved, the material in the raw mill is ground and reduced to 75 microns, with roughly 80% of the material passing a 200 mesh sieve before continuing on into the separator and then further into the homogenizing silo, where it will stay until being fed into the kiln. The raw ball mill in Kamloops produces as much as 55 tons of raw mix per hour, requiring about 250,000 tons of raw material to produce 180,000 tons of clinker. The raw materials, now referred to as kiln feed, enter the kiln 380 feet in length and rotating at the rate of 1 to 1.2 rotations per minute. About 40 tons per hour of raw materials slide and tumble down the kiln through 4 zones that increase in temperature for as long as an hour and 30 minutes. The first phase, a preheating zone, is between 100 degrees and 400 degrees Celsius. Once the kiln has reached 900 degrees, the material has entered the decarbonization zone, where calcium carbonate starts to decompose and calcium oxide and carbon dioxide are formed. At 1200 degrees, the clinkering zone begins and continues to heat and transform the material until 1400 degrees. Finally, the molten material enters the cooling zone, where it will remain for 20 to 30 minutes while air is forced through an open grate, cooling the clinker. At this point, the clinker is either moved to storage silos that can store 730 tons, or to the clinker storage building, which can hold over 30,000 tons of clinker. Kamloops' main fuel source is found through burning coal or petroleum coke, burning about 3,500 kilograms per hour. Alternative fuels such as rags, wood, and plastic are also put to use, making up about 10% of the total fuel by energy produced. The clinker, combined with a small amount of gypsum, is used to control the final set time of cement. Then it is ground in a ball mill, where steel balls tumble inside the mill, crushing the clinker. When this product exits the mill, it can now be considered Portland cement. From the finish mill, the cement is put into one of 4 silos at the Kamloops plant. 2 silos store GU, the first storing 1,300 tons, and the second 1,600 tons. Another silo stores HE, holding 1,600 tons, and the final stores mortar S, storing 1,300 tons. 1 kilometer south of the plant, there is a silo situated on the railway. Throughout the majority of the year, this silo will store HE, occasionally being cleaned out and used to store GU. Type HE, GU, and mortar S are all produced at the Kamloops plant and distributed throughout interior British Columbia and Alberta. Over 165,000 tons were produced and distributed through the Kamloops Cement Plant in 2012. Roughly 50% of all production is HE, 45% GU, and 5% mortar S. A small portion of the product is shipped to the Lafarge Calgary terminal for bagging operations and later returned to Kamloops for sale. The GU market generally consists of material trucked to Okanagan, BC, and railed to Terrace, BC. Type HE is railed to Edmonton, St. John, and the Prairies, as well as local ready-mix producers in Kelowna, Vernon, and Okanagan. A variety of testing is done on all products coming in and out of the plant. Raw materials are tested continuously throughout the day, whether they are trucked in or mined at the quarry, and adjustments to the raw materials are made instantly so the desired chemistry of the clinker is maintained. Cements that are being produced in Kamloops are constantly being tested, whether they are bulk shipments or directly from the finish mill. Testing ranges from the chemical properties of each product to the physical properties, such as strength, fineness, and set times, as well as a number of other tests. As previously mentioned, the Kamloops Cement Plant is located near its own limestone source. When the limestone enters the kiln, 1/3 of the weight of limestone is lost as carbon dioxide, and by minimizing the transportation of limestone and its lost weight, producing cement is much more economical. The Kamloops Cement Plant is currently producing over 200,000 tons of clinker every year.